Hello, it's Chris of Chris Vernon Composition, and today I'm going to show you how to go about making a sort of basic wobble, like bass wobble sound for, like electronic music or dubstep, I suppose, as most people use it for. This is a really basic start to it. You'll have to add your own, like twist onto it, or how you feel is appropriate for whatever song you're creating. Yeah, I'll just show you how this starts. Excuse the lack of melodic value there, but as you can see, it's just got that wobbly sound that people are after. Alright, I'll show you how to go about making it. First of all, we open up ES2, which is a built-in plugin for both Logic Pro and Logic Express. I'm actually using Logic Express at the moment. And here it is. It's got all sorts of bits and bobs to it that you can pretty much make any sound you're after. And to start with, we need to get a kind of basic sound. So I've always found that using, under the tutorial settings, and using the analog saw init preset, it's a very good starting point. It's a very strong kind of flat signal. So that's just as such. What then I've always found is a good start to it is to kind of add like a depth to it. So you use your first oscillator and set it to more of a kind of quite high, I suppose. That's now goes. It kind of softens the whole thing. It's just a good kind of flat starting point. And then this is very key to having it have that sort of depth that I suppose you're after. Over here you can set what kind of level of octaves are played. So if you set it to -24, which obviously seems pretty excessive, it's 24 semitones down, so 2 keys sort of lower. But well, there you go. You need to turn it up a bit or raise the octave on your thing. It just gives a bit more bass to it, so it's a lot stronger. More oomph, I suppose, is what I'm saying. Right. Next, what you want to do is open up your second oscillator by clicking the 2 button. Here again, you can just edit the the wave pattern that you're using. So what I tend to do down here on the sine one, you can actually change, if I get it right, to sort of these kind of funny presets that that Logic have come up with. I've always found Glass 2 is probably most effective for this kind of thing, but again, it's entirely up to you. Organ 1 actually also is very good, but I'll use Glass 2 for demonstration's sake. So this adds a far more like kind of grit to it. It's a lot dirtier now. So whack it down a bit more. That's got that that nasty kind of bite that I suppose is desired. So over here we have this tool, which essentially you can set a blend between the two oscillators, like as far as the triangle goes. If you open the third one, which of course you're more than capable of doing, you can also add another kind of set of frequencies using the waves and changing the waves. But I've always found 2 is kind of more than enough, really. So here you can, if you go down here, that's more of the glass. That is more of the FM. So it's about, put it about there for now, just near the middle. Again, you can set the oscillator, the octaves back down again, if you like, which to -24. So that is, again, it's deep. You can just change that sound as much as you like. Obviously, all of this is down to preference and as much as you want to, or whatever you want it to sound like. So over here we have the router, which is kind of just a patching system. You can use any of the other things like the envelopes or the LFOs. And today we're going to be using the LFO. I like to use LFO 2 because I just find it a lot easier. You can turn these ones off because you don't really have any need for them to get that wobble. Obviously, later on, if you want to add them in, feel free to. Start by setting that to cut off 1 and 2. So what that's going to do is pretty much bounce between. It sets like a kind of parameter, so for the signal to kind of bounce off of, and then set this one to LFO2, which is this down here. So as you can hear at the moment, it just sounds flat. And if you put it down to here, it should, if I'm correct, do this. Not enough wobble to it really, but let's put it up a bit more. Take the cutoff down. There we go. It's the start of a kind of wobbly sound. Again, you know, there's plenty of things you can add into it. Again, you know, sorting out the cutoff and stuff like that. You know, the lower the cutoff, the more it's going to be choppy. The higher, the more, you know, glide you'll have to it. Again, over here you have like the tone, so you can kind of lowers it, makes it a little bit like muffled, I suppose. I don't really know what the correct terminology for that is. Yeah, that's kind of, you know, your basics of it, but you know, it just takes a lot of messing around with it, a lot of fiddly, spending hours just kind of perfecting it and making it sound like how you want it to. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial. Sorry if I've rambled on a bit, but there we go. Thank you very much.